To those who knew her, almost nothing the late Dallas Morning News columnist Mercedes Olivera ever did came as a real surprise. That she was a Fulbright scholar, that her column, focusing since 1975 on Latino life and issues, was one of the longest running in a major newspaper, that she would use that column to give voice to the voiceless were all things that if you knew Mercedes, you'd expect from Mercedes. A regular contributor to our Sunday Inside Texas Politics program, she did not hesitate to passionately argue with any contributor, battle any injustice, or support any person she believed took a correct but unpopular stand on an issue of moral principle. She would not be silenced. The only real shock came a week ago when we all learned she had lost her long battle with cancer. Since then, the tributes from students at TCU where she taught, from fellow professionals, community leaders, activists have rolled in nonstop. People she encouraged, pushed, some with whom she verbally jousted have chimed in. The seeds of making a difference she planted now sprouting, noting a life that made a difference in so many others. Complacency was one thing Mercedes Olivera cared little for. The world needs all of us involved to make it a better place, she insisted, even if, at times, it makes you uncomfortable. Our condolences here at Channel 8. You can add yours on our Facebook page. Look for WFAA.
We will miss Mercedes very much.